that, like you said, that a guy loses a fight, then bam. It's like, it's like they write him off. It's like somebody's got to win.
Right, but it's for some reason, if you have a loss today, I don't know if it's because Mayweather was undefeated or whatever the reason may be, they cannot handle losses. Like it's the end of the
war. Ask you a question.
Yeah.
Mayweather was what, 49-0?
50-0 now with McGregor, yeah.
Sugar Ray Robinson had a 91 fight win streak. 91.
Chavez Sr. had 89. Yep. 87, yeah.
91. How can you top that?
You can't. Nobody's going to fight 91 fights in this day and age.
But it's not only 91 fights, but a 91 fight win streak.
You can't top that. That's why many people say he's the best ever.
In that era. You feel me? So, I mean, Marvin Hagler, before he became champ, he had losses on his record.
Ali and Tyson have losses. Right?
Exactly. So, today I just think that some of the people, they just get caught up in the hype. And if a guy loses, they say, oh, it's all over. But nah, he just lied. Maybe it wasn't your night that night.
How would Mayweather do against a Tommy Hearns, against a Roberto Duran, against a Chavez Sr., against Sugar Ray Leonard?
I don't think he'd beat Duran. I don't think he'd beat Ray Leonard. Tommy Hearns is too big. Chavez Sr. he beats.
You say he only beats one of those guys?
He beats Chavez.
But he's 50-0. I mean, he's beaten 26 champions, bona fide champions. Mayweather, he beat Pacquiao,
Listen, Sugar Ray Leonard is not Pacquiao. Now let me rephrase that. Pacquiao is not Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay? Now, I'm not knocking Floyd. I respect Floyd.
Yeah, of course, I know.
Floyd fought everybody out there. I really, commend them on that. You know what I mean? But it's a different era. You know what I mean? Sugar Ray Leonard had a guy like Marvin Hagler. I was at the Hall of Fame one year, and I'm looking at Marvin Hagler, I'm looking at Ray Leonard, and I'm saying to Ray, how? How the hell you beat this guy? I mean, Marvin is a big dude, man.
Big small head, big dude.
Big dude, but Marvin can fight, man. I mean, Marvin can fight. Tommy Hearns, I was watching him, it looked like he could tie his shoes without bending over. Now, I'm looking at him and I'm looking at Ray, I'm like, Ray, how? Yeah. And Ray's laughing like, stop, buddy. But I'm like, how? How the hell you beat these guys?
You know what I ask Tommy Hearns every time I see him? How the hell did you make 147? He looks like he's 180, 190 normally.
Exactly.
Reporting.
Alright. I was glad to do this video. I wanted you guys to hear this again. Now, I'm not knocking Buddy McGirt, okay? I'm not going to knock this brother, but losers make excuses and winners win, alright? This is just life. Buddy McGirt was a good boxer. Let's not get it twisted. Buddy McGirt was a good boxer. Shout out to Ellie Sickback. This is Ellie Sickback's coverage. But he wasn't a great boxer. Alright. Now he did some phenomenal things. He won the welterweight championship. He won the junior welterweight championship. Kudos to him. But Buddy McGirt, he ain't no great boxer. Now if Tommy Hearns say he could beat Floyd, that's a different story. Now Tommy Hearns, by the way, when he talked about Floyd Mayweather, he said this is what you'd have to do. He said, I can't fight Floyd's fight. Floyd just too good. I can't go get him. I can't go stalking him down trying to get him. I got to box him. He said, I got to keep him at the end of the stick. Now, if I don't keep him at the end of the stick, we're going to have some problems. So he understood. And just in case you don't understand what he means by we have some problems, he said when he was fighting Sugar Ray Leonard, he said Sugar Ray Leonard is a good fighter and we have some problems. I had some problems with Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay? And he said he got to box Floyd. The problem with boxing, trying to box Floyd, that is try to keep him at the end of your jab. That's what he mean by box Floyd. Keep the distance, keep the range. His problem with boxing Floyd is this. Floyd has the tools to get past a jab. I don't care how good your jab is. Floyd can get past your jab. Alright? Roberto Duran was he was an explosive fighter, but he had slow plodding feet. Anybody who know Roberto Duran know. Even at lightweight, Roberto Duran wasn't no quick-footed guy. He was explosive. But he had slow plodding feet. People say Canelo has slow plodding feet. People say Danny Garcia has slow plodding feet. Make of it what you will. Canelo is pretty explosive himself, but he got upper body movement. But my point anyways is, Canelo's not the quickest of foot kind of guy. He's explosive. Duran's not the quickest of foot kind of guy. You could outbox Duran. Now, Thomas Hearns explained how he beat Roberto Duran. He started touching him to the body with a jab. And then when Duran was looking to bring his guard down to protect his body, he came over the top. And he would feint the jab to the body, come over the top with the right cross. And that's how he caught Duran a couple times, put him down first. Put him down, I think, twice, and then he finally knocked his ass out. But my point being that Tommy Hearns was a good, don't get it twisted, he was a great boxer. But even Thomas Hearns said it would have been a good fight with Floyd Mayweather. He understands, in fact, the caliber of fighter Floyd Mayweather is. Floyd's difference, you see, what Buddy McGirt seems to not understand, because he still don't understand. You know what's interesting? Buddy McGirt ushered in a sort of new era of boxing. Buddy McGirt would do certain things with his body that the old vintage boxers did not do. Even his stance was a little bit different to them. And Buddy McGirt actually, you got to credit Buddy McGirt with being an excellent boxer in that respect. His conditioning wasn't the greatest in the world. And, because of that, guys like Mildred Taylor, they were able to overcome him and beat his ass up. But he was outboxing Mildred Taylor for most of the fight. But Mildred Taylor, he was tough, and he would land shots to the body, and he overpowered Buddy McGirt. Floyd Mayweather, Buddy McGirt, I like Buddy McGirt, okay? But I know Buddy McGirt, he don't like Floyd Mayweather. He has a thing against Floyd, all right? When Floyd beat Pacquiao, he said, Floyd wasn't an all-time great, and he really trashed Floyd, all right? I remember even Sugar Ray Leonard trashing Floyd. Let me tell you something. These old guys sometimes need to shut their damn mouth. Floyd was guilty of trashing Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev the first fight, and trashing Virgil Hunter. And Floyd needed to shut his damn mouth at that time. And Floyd even acknowledged, man, I should have shut my mouth. And he apologized to Virgil Hunter. He apologized to Andre Ward. Now that's something I give Floyd credit for. But Buddy McGirt will never apologize for what he said about Floyd Mayweather. And Buddy McGirt is not even a tenth the quality fighter that Floyd is. All I'm going to say it real quick, is feinting. Learn about that first, Buddy McGirt, before you even start to talk about Floyd Mayweather in your sentence. And about who would beat him. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Alright? Feinting. Alright? And Floyd don't just feint. He has a whole system of feints. Floyd don't just feint one way. He feints a number of ways. Alright? And he opens you up a number of different ways. The skill level on Floyd Mayweather, even Boom Boom Mancini understands and recognizes the caliber of skill Floyd has. But that's not all. Floyd's got toughness. Floyd is a very fucking tough dude. Sugar Ray Leonard got knocked down by guys much bigger than him. And I'm listening to Buddy McGirt talk and be in awe about, Sugar Ray Leonard fighting Thomas Hearns, and in awe about Sugar Ray Leonard fighting Marvelous Marvin Hagler. And I'm thinking to myself, the linear middleweight champion of the world right now is Canelo Alvarez, who just fought Triple G, by the way. All right, Floyd fought Canelo, who was a hulking figure compared to Floyd Mayweather, and he didn't just beat him by the skin of his teeth. He dominated that motherfucker. Okay. I think back at that, and I'm thinking to myself, Buddy McGirt, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? What's going through your head? Floyd wouldn't beat Thomas Hearns. I'm not saying that Thomas the Hitman Hearns would not have given Floyd some problems because of his length, but we just saw Floyd fight, the guy is not a boxer, all right? But we just saw Floyd fight Conor McGregor. A much bigger guy than Floyd. I'm just saying. We've seen Floyd fight guys significantly longer than him, significantly bigger than him, and whoop their ass. So what's to make Thomas Hearns any different? See, Buddy McGirt and these guys, they glorify the past and talk about a different era, and don't understand that the guys of the eras after them were better. Terry Norris mopped the floor with Sugar Ray Leonard. He mopped the fucking floor with Sugar Ray Leonard. Do you know why? It's not only because Sugar Ray Leonard was old. It's a different era and a different style of boxing. And of all the people in the world that should know this, Buddy McGirt should know it because he beat the brakes off of Saul Mbe, an old fighter from an old school of fighting. And because he had a different school of fighting and a different style of fighting, he was able to beat Saul Mbe. Of all the people in the world, Buddy McGirt should understand this. He should understand boxing as a sport has evolved. Whether you want to say there's more athleticism or that the style and the way and the methodologies of fighting is a little bit different and some of the old school things are lost and some new school things have been found, you have to acknowledge it. And so, once again, I have to deal with some people entrenched in dogma that the people of the past would have beaten the people of the present time because they knew more boxing. Fuck out of here with that shit, man, Buddy McGirt. And Ellie Sackback, you should shut the fuck up sometimes too, bro. 89, 87, 91-0, Sugar Ray Robinson. Tell me, how many of those fucking fights were rematches? And how many unnecessary rematches? And how many of those fucking fights in his win streak were duds? You know what I mean by duds? I mean guys that are not supposed to even be in the ring with Sugar Ray Robinson. And just remember also that Sugar Ray Robinson, in all of those fights, those are 91 fights. See, you don't want to give Floyd credit for his 50 fight. Oh, he didn't really fight nobody of the level of the guys from the past eras and stuff. All right, okay. You want to give no credit to Floyd for his 50-0, but you want to give Sugar Ray Robinson credit for his 91-0? So what the fuck is this? This is a double standard. You have to keep your standard straight. Either you're denying Floyd the fighters and the fighters of his era that he beat, or you're giving Sugar Ray Robinson credit for the fighters in his era he beat. And if you give him credit, then you got to give Floyd credit. And here's the thing. When you look at the kind and caliber of competition Floyd faced once he became world champion, none of those motherfuckers did it consecutively like Floyd. None of them. All right? And this is where I get really pissed. Because we have these people out here talking about all these other people because they're salty. Because when you talk about Floyd Mayweather, you're talking about a whole other level of fighting. You're talking about a whole other level of a guy that fought. Whether you want to say he picked his opponents or not, there's no denying these people were the best in the era. So you can be salty. You could try. Losers make excuses. Talking about, oh, there's no problem in losing. You know, the greats lost. That's consolation prize. Nobody goes into the fight game to lose. Nobody. So if guys feel a how about losing a fight, they're supposed to feel a how about losing a fight. And come to terms with that. And this is the kind of things I just don't understand. Nobody's saying because somebody loses a fight that means they're not a good fighter. Of course not. Sean Porter is still one of my favorite fighters. He lost a couple fights, so what? All right. In fact, there are guys the audience and fans repeatedly want to see because they bring exciting fights. Marcus McDonald lost a lot of fights, so what? He's an exciting fight. He brings exciting fights. You know, there are different reasons for people to like fighters. Everybody liked Manny Pacquiao. He lost a couple fights. So what? So it's not that this new era doesn't want to lose fights, because we're seeing with the PBC now, they're mixing and matching all kinds of guys. But when you take a guy who has been just hyped up crazy, and then he goes and loses a fight, now people want to make excuses and stuff like Erickson Lubin. Y'all hyped him up more than he was supposed to be, and then when he got smashed, okay, you guys want to now defend him, and you're talking about, oh, if somebody loses a fight and they need to learn. Okay, fine. But the point is, the hype that you put behind him, he wasn't that. Okay? And let me get down to it, because you know you're gonna get real talk from me. When they talked about J-Rock and J-Rock this and J-Rock that, he got dropped and then he got stopped. Okay? You know something? I'm not saying now again, y'all was saying, this guy's avoiding J-Rock and that one's a girl. And all Charlotte was saying, all Jamal Charlotte was saying is he not ready for this level. He wasn't ready for this level. The other Charlotte, Jamel Charlotte, he was saying, this dude ain't ready for this level. This is too early. Now, I ain't mad at Erickson Lubin. He wanted to take the step up. Adrian Broner wanted to take the step up against Marcos Maidana. But the matchmakers, the people who know that you still got a ways to go. Some of you fighters are so impatient to get to the top spot that you sell yourself short. Sometimes you just need to listen to your matchmakers, listen to your advisors, listen to your promoter, and take it one step at a time. I remember Keith Thurman was calling out Floyd Mayweather way back in the day. To this day, Keith Thurman can't handle Floyd. And I'm talking about a 40-year-old Floyd. He can't handle Floyd. Y'all feel he can knock out Floyd. Y'all feel Canelo can knock out Floyd. Ain't nobody knocking out Floyd at 40 years of age. You know why? The dude has defense. Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand boxing. Defense wins you fights. Yes, you got to have offense. No doubt about it. But the guy who has the best defense with offense is Floyd Mayweather. And he's 41 years old. He'll be 41 years old next year. And believe you me, he handled all them young boys still. But I don't think he survives training. I think he's going to get badly injured if you try to train. But if you just sparring them, like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was 50 years schooling those young little cats. 18, 19, 20 years old. Schooling them. But as for him to go a whole season playing basketball, hell no. He'd break him down. Same thing with Floyd. I think Floyd would school a whole set of guys, but I don't think he could go through a training camp and survive it. I don't think so. I think he'd get broken right down. And by the time he goes into the boxing match, yeah, he might win the fight, but it costs him a lot. That's what I think. So, quite frankly, you need to know when to fold it up. And I don't know why Floyd's even trying to continue in fighting now. It's just ridiculous to me. You know, the Conor McGregor fight was, you know, we all know that was a circus, right? And it is what it is, you know. But I don't see why Floyd needs to go do anything else with his career, to be honest with you. But if he wants to do it, I can't stop him. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, what I'm saying to you guys is this. I listen to all these guys talk, and I know there's an agenda behind it. There's a jealousy behind it. Buddy McGurk, he starts off by saying, oh, I like Floyd. I like Floyd. No, you don't. You don't. You don't, buddy. You don't, buddy. You jealous of Floyd. You are angry this guy made so much money. You are angry this guy keeps on winning every single fight. Okay? And you know who would tell the truth? You know a trainer who would tell the truth? The guy who used to train Bernard Hopkins. See that old guy? He'll tell you the truth. He'll tell you the truth. They wanted to see Floyd fall. All of them. When you're at the top of the mountain and you're unblemished, they wanted to see him fall. That's basically it. Even Evander Holyfield, he wanted to see Floyd fall. Alright? They all were in it. They want to see somebody beat him. It never happened. So they're very angry about it. They know how damn good that boy is. They know how good Floyd is as a boxer. Okay? And they know what he accomplished. Ain't nobody accomplished. Nobody. And y'all gonna try and pull up some obsolete boxer from somewhere in the back recesses and try and make him out to be something better than Floyd. And y'all gonna use the words power and strong. And he was knocking out people. I know how it goes. Because y'all can't really go with boxing. Y'all can't talk. Y'all can't prove to me with boxing that Floyd ain't the best ever. And that's the problem. A lot of you who come up and talk about, oh, well, the searcher, you know, there were different eras and the circumstances and people used to go 20 rounds and all that bullshit. I'll listen. I say, how come you going 20 rounds, first of all? You ain't supposed to stop that dude somewhere around the 10th, 11th? What I mean, y'all on the same playing field? Or you just can't hit for shit? If you gotta go 20 rounds with a guy, you know what I'm saying? Today, fights never gonna go 20 rounds. Guys hit too damn hard for it to go 20 rounds. Ain't nobody going 20 rounds in any fight. None of the fights going that distance. Damn, there were 15-round fights back in the day. And those fights weren't going the distance. A lot of those 15 rounds didn't go the distance. So I'm just saying, why are people going 20 rounds? Because they was clinching a lot? Because they was hugging each other as if they're doing the cha-cha-cha? Y'all don't talk about that. That most of the time, they throw one punch and then they clinch up. But y'all want to talk about old school boxing. What do y'all know about old school boxing? And these are the things that really annoy the crap out of me, man. It really do. Anyway, this is a little rant, but the point behind it is that when you listen to Buddy McGirt and all these guys talk about 91-0 and 87-0 by Chavez, and I'm thinking, that's padded the hell up, man. Those are padded records, and you guys know this. 91-0 against who? How many times we had rematches that didn't need to be rematched? How many guys Sugar Ray Robinson beat and beat again and beat again and beat again and beat them in another episode and beat them again? What was the point behind that? You have to be able to at least face people who you actually seen who are new. Sugar Ray Robinson, he fights Ralph Tiger Jones. Ralph Tiger Jones beats his ass. He doesn't look to rematch him, to avenge that loss. He never does. Why? Why wouldn't he fight Ralph Tiger Jones again? See what I'm saying? Now there was a number of other guys, Dick Tiger and a lot of other guys after Sugar Ray Robinson. Dick Tiger was a hell of a fighter. We got a whole bunch of them. I can name a whole bunch. But my point anyway is not that. My point is this. You could be a great fighter and lose. Nobody's arguing that point, which is what this video was kind of more or less about. My point is, when you see what Mayweather's done, that's not something that's going to be replicated just like that. Okay? It doesn't just happen overnight. Okay? You're talking about a guy who fought the very best of his era, everybody, and was undefeated at the end of it. Not just as the champion, but period. That's very difficult to find. Okay? Especially with an era which had a good amount of talent in it. It's very difficult to find. So, when I say to some people, look, man, let's not consider Mayweather, okay? Just move Mayweather aside. Everybody can't be Mayweather. And Mayweather has his own legacy. Move Mayweather aside. And just look at the boxers. They're developing as people. Let's just see how they go. Okay? That's the important thing. If you learn from your mistakes, you move forward, you learn from your losses, cool. If you never lost before and you're still pressing on and you're doing a good job, cool. We'll see how your career pans out. But at the end of the day, I'm tired of these old fogies getting up, trying to show that Mayweather didn't do nothing, that what he did, other people have done, when that's not true at all. Okay? It's not true at all. It's putting false equivalencies and then trying to say, oh, Floyd would never have beaten Sugar Ray Leonard. Sugar Ray Leonard knows. He understands this is a different era. It's a different time. Sugar Ray Leonard had his time. Sugar Ray Leonard's cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I had my time. Y'all can talk about that if you want. I had my time. Alright? Leonard got beaten by Duran. Leonard got beaten by Terry Norris. That's a next generational guy. Duran was small, about Floyd Mayweather's dimensions, and he beat Sugar Ray Leonard. My point being, not that Sugar Ray Leonard is someone who is beatable and that's why Floyd would beat him. My point is, you can't talk about Mayweather versus Sugar Ray Leonard and not give Mayweather a chance. It'd be a competitive fight. I'm pretty sure about that. I personally believe Floyd would beat Sugar Ray Leonard. I think his brother believed that too, a brother-in-law. And the reasons I give are very clear. But Sugar Ray Leonard, I know, was a thinking fighter as well. But he had the old school way of moving. And I think that Floyd he's new school. I think that would just play into Floyd's hands. Because he's new school versus old school. You know what I'm saying? And the athleticism of Floyd, even though Sugar Ray Leonard was athletic, the athleticism of Floyd is in a whole different level to Leonard. But Leonard could do it all. Thomas Hearns, you know, later on in his career when he was in the higher weight classes, he showed his all-round game, and he actually did a great job in the second fight against Iron Barkley, showing he could fight on the inside, mix it up on the inside. He really had some concrete inside fighting skills. But at welterweight, the dude didn't know how to fight on the inside. He just didn't know nothing about fighting on the inside. You get past his jab, that was it. You know what I'm saying? Which is why Aaron Pryor never got his shot against Thomas Hearns, and Mike McCallum never got his shot against Thomas Hearns. You know, Marvin Hagler got his shot, and he went to the inside, and that was it. He took out Thomas Hearns, okay? So Thomas Hearns knows he was strong with the outside game, with using his height, length, and reach. You get to the inside of him, and he was very vulnerable as a welterweight because he didn't really have much of a mass. So you start working the body, and he would fall. Which leads me to another conversation I want to have, which has to do with Anthony Joshua versus Carlos Takam. I like that fight. Joshua showed me some really nice stuff in that fight. How he would move and roll with punches. Even how he was even fighting off the ropes a little bit. Fighting on the back foot sometimes. You know, he would respect distance. But I think he was just too much head hunting. I think in the 8th round he started working the body and he got some really good results. And then he tried to set him up to the body by going to the head, and then he'd go to the body, go to the body, go to the body. Especially in the closing seconds of the round, he'd go to the body and really soften him up. I thought this fight was called way prematurely. I gotta be honest with you. That fight was called prematurely, period. With respect to the other fight, which was Dillian Whyte versus Robert Helenius. Now, I like that fight. Robert Helenius is a very crafty boxer. He's got really good defense. But I like how Dillian Whyte was working the body. I would have advised him to work the body more. The other thing is the feints. All of these fighters, even what's his name? Anthony Joshua. They are too straightforward. Sometimes they telegraph their punches too much. You gotta stop telegraphing your punches, man. You gotta feint as if you're gonna go one way and then go the other way. You go watch a video on Floyd Mayweather Sr. talking about feinting. Alright, there are all kinds of ways to feint, but a lot of people don't know. They only know the basic feint, with a stutter step kind of feint with the foot and whatever. You set up a feint the following way. You throw a punch, throw a jab, any kind of jab. Alright, any kind of jab. You throw a jab, and you throw a next jab. Alright? Now the guy's expecting the same kind of jab. You try to throw the same kind of jab in a row. Whether it's a jab to the head. Say you're going to jab to the head. You jab to the head, jab to the head. And then what you do is called a feint. You feint the jab to the head, but you didn't throw no punch. And you go to the body. You got to feint. You got to feint it. You got to feint. So you expect the jab to the head, so he covers up to the top with a double guard. And then you get to the pit. Boom. And I saw Anthony Joshua not feint to the head, but he would throw shots to the head. And then he would throw a shot to the body. He'd mix it up. But never you're really feinting. The same thing with Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte, he telegraphed a lot of his punches. Put too much oomph on his punches, too. He was just trying to power out his punches instead of just letting it flow. You know, that's another thing. Floyd Mayweather, he never, Canelo's guilty of that, too. Trying to put too much mustard on a punch. Sometimes you just have to let it rip. You know, Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, they just let it flow. Even Gennady Golovkin, he lets his punches flow. He don't try and force it. And I saw with Anthony Joshua and with Dillian Whyte, I saw that they were forcing their punches. If you watch Deontay Wilder throw a jab, he never forced no punch. He don't force nothing. You know, and that's the thing with Deontay Wilder. So when he throws that looping right that hits a guy in the head and knocks him down, it's just natural for him to do it, and he does it with speed. So that's something. But Dillian Whyte, I like how he worked the body of Robert Helenius. Again, he didn't have that much variety in Robert Helenius. He knows how to catch punches and roll punches a certain way. So it was a little bit tougher for him, but it was still impressive to me what Dillian Whyte could do. He didn't really have that much power as I thought he had. He didn't really have that much pop. It could be that he's forcing his shots and rushing his shots. But you got to be relaxed when you're fighting, man. You can't be all pent up trying to, punch the guy into thy kingdom come. It just slows down your punch, as well as it also makes you waste a lot of energy, and the snap is not the same. And because it's telegraphed, your opponent can actually see what's happening and brace for it. And that was something Canelo was guilty of doing against Gennady Golovkin. He's trying to rip the punches so hard that he actually was taking power off his punch. You know, you just need to just be casual. So it's untelegraphed. That way you catch your opponent much better. Again, Floyd Mayweather, Andre Ward, they're really good at doing this. Breaking your opponent down. Anthony just should have broken down Carlos Takam. If he had stuck to the game plan of going to the body more, he'd have gotten him out of there. But Carlos Takam didn't get the referee. Man, the referee did a lousy job in that fight. He was stopping the fight for everything. Beginning of rounds, it was just disgusting. He was just way too involved in the fight, which was really annoying. Takam got his eye busted up, and Joshua got a headbutt in his nose and didn't know what to do, and he started blowing his nose, and that's how the blood started coming out. But at the end of the day, I would have loved to have seen if this fight would have gone the distance. I doubt it, because Joshua started to pick up on going to the body, and he was going to the body late in every round. And I think he was letting Takam burn out some energy first, which was pretty smart, and then he would go to the body, which was a good thing. I would say, though, that at the end of the day, when I look at all these fights with these young fighters, I know they're gaining experience from these tough fights. And that's the important thing. Carlos Takam's a dude, you know, he carried certain fighters the distance. Some good fighters, like Povetkin, I think, carried Povetkin to the distance. So I think Povetkin stopped him late or something like that. But at the end of the day, styles make fights. I'm surprised that Buddy McGirt is talking about, you know, Thomas Hearns beating Floyd. Floyd's seen every single style there is to see in the boxing game. And I just don't see Thomas Hearns beating Floyd. I'm sorry. Not at welterweight. Not at super welterweight either. Maybe at middleweight if Floyd was to move up to middleweight. Because Floyd's never been at middleweight. Maybe he beat him then. But other than that, I just don't see Thomas Hearns beating Floyd. Not in those two divisions. He'd get stuck. I think Thomas Hearns would have gotten stopped by Floyd. As strange as it sounds, Floyd doesn't look like a guy who would stop a guy. But if you wind him, if Floyd could get to the breadbasket, which would be the body, I think he'd punch drunk Thomas Hearns, and I think Thomas Hearns could get him out of there. I think quicker than Sugar Ray Leonard would. Again, because we're talking about a different era, Floyd would bring other things to the table. But if you didn't have Thomas Hearns, if you didn't have Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd wouldn't be able to see them, and therefore he wouldn't have been able to do what he does today. So you have to understand, in a way, it ain't really worth it to talk about these fights because these are the fighters that Floyd was watching when he was a kid, or even before he was a kid. You know, before he was a little baby, this what his father was playing for him. So, I mean, obviously, if you've been watching the greats and you become a great, it's because of the great that you became a great. So, you know, it's kind of stupid to say, oh, well, Floyd would beat Thomas Hearns or Thomas Hearns would beat Floyd. Floyd learned from Thomas Hearns. He learned from Sugar Ray Leonard. He learned from Sugar Ray Robinson. He learned from Marvin Hagler. These are guys the dude was watching, growing up. This is footage of them. So obviously, this is the thing that I just don't understand with Buddy McGirt. He'd be like, oh, Floyd would get beaten by these guys. No, he wouldn't. He learned from them. He grew up watching them. When you grow up watching somebody, you learn from them. Guess what you do? You beat their ass because you've been studying them. You incorporate some of what they do and some of what another guy do and some of it. I mean, come on, man. Sometimes I just don't understand these folk, man. I just don't get it, man. It's just what it is, though. It is what it is. Just recently, you guys were giving this kid credit for beating a guy because he was so long and rangy. You know what I'm saying? Who was the fighter, man? Who was the fighter that beat the long rangy guy? Terrence Crawford beat the long rangy guy, but the guy is, who was it? I can't remember. It was a big, long guy. Oh, yeah. It was Demetrius Andre. Okay? He beat a big, long guy. All right? Kind of Thomas Hearns dimension. And everybody was giving him credit for that. And I'm thinking to myself, how can you give this dude credit and the other guys, you just don't give credit? And, it's just, sometimes, man, the hypocrisy in boxing is just crazy, man. It's just crazy. But it is what it is. On that note, you guys have a great one.